Queen Elizabeth made a decision on Platinum Jubilee celebration made Prince Andrew in red-faced. The Queen's arrival with Prince Andrew at Westminster Abbey last week was almost not caught on camera by the official photographer in attendance, due to an order issued by Buckingham Palace, it has been claimed. Richard Pohle was the only official photographer allowed to take pictures inside during the service of thanksgiving for Prince Philip. He claimed two Buckingham Palace officers in attendance with him had told him he could only take pictures of the Queen after she had taken her seat inside the church. Mr. Pohle recalled the tense moments prior to Her Majesty's arrival to the service in an article he penned. He wrote, "Last week in Westminster Abbey I was with two smiling and pleasant press officers from Buckingham Palace, both of whom I had worked with before. They told me I would not be able to photograph the entrance of the Queen until, basically, they said I could. And the officers reportedly did not budge even when the photographer argued the BBC was broadcasting the full event, including the arrival of the sovereign, live for millions to see." He added, "I tried holding my desperation in check and argued my case as I tried to devise a diplomatic solution, but I was by myself and had no one in authority to back me up." The palace officials stood firm, no pictures until she was seated. However, Mr. Pohle said, photographing the Queen's entrance and walk towards her seat became particularly important after it became apparent she was being accompanied by her second son Prince Andrew. He said, "I absolutely need to photograph this," I said. The arrival of the Queen was now the major news event. I could see them wavering, but they repeated that the no-picture order came from the top and that it wasn't up to them. Mr. Pohle went on claiming he told them once again the BBC was going to carry the whole event live, unless they were ordering the public-funded broadcaster to cut Andrew's appearance with the Queen too. His final plea seemed to have an effect, he said, as one of the press officers made a phone call and later returned to give him the go-ahead, lifting the ban. Buckingham Palace did not comment on Mr. Pohle's claims. Scandal-mired Prince Andrew will accompany the Queen to the Derby on the weekend of her Platinum Jubilee, it has been reported. The Duke of York, who settled a sex abuse case with Virginia Giuffre earlier this year, was named in a separate court case this week. Andrew has been featured in evidence given to a judge overseeing a High Court financial dispute between an elderly Turkish woman and a former banker. It has now been reported that the 62-year-old is in line to chaperone to Queen to Epsom races in June. A source told, he was meant to stay invisible during the Platinum Jubilee, so there is no way he will be at events like Trooping the Colour. But the Queen needs a chaperone on all occasions at the moment due to her mobility issues, and Andrew has earmarked the Derby as the one he will accompany her at. He just doesn't seem to understand the public outcry. Prince Andrew's role in the royal family has come into question following the end of the civil suit brought by Ms. Giuffre earlier this year. He made no admission of guilt but settled the case for an undisclosed sum, understood to be £12 million. The settlement came in the months after he returned his military titles and royal patronages to the Queen. Amid such acrimony, Andrew accompanied his mother to a memorial service for Prince Philip at Westminster Abbey this week. Prince Charles and nephew Prince William are said to have made their displeasure about the role Andrew played clear to the Queen. They did not want Andrew to be the one to accompany Her Majesty into the service on Tuesday, and reportedly spoke to her more than once to raise their concerns. The Queen went ahead and her so-called favourite son was the one seen across the world helping her along the aisle at Westminster Abbey, as the service was broadcast live on the BBC.